recording. There we go. Okay, how has your weekend been? Have you been having a good weekend?
Yeah, I spent my precious time on weekend with my family, and yesterday we went to the Grand Park around my city,
Mhm.
and where we just hung around and we just enjoy a picnic, on the grass. So it was
That's
very good time.
that sounds so fun.
Yes.
Did you rest this weekend at least? Did you have a little bit of rest?
No, especially not because I don't have enough time to the rest. So I just normally use my resting time with my family. So yeah, I'm really happy to be with my daughter. So yeah, we always just have a blast. So yeah, it was my resting time.
Okay, I understand. How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 4 years old.
Four. Oh my goodness, that's adorable.
Yes, so
Okay, are you ready for our lesson today?
yes, of course. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, let me just share my screen quickly. Okay, so
Yes.
first we are just going to do a speaking test, and then from there we are going to do some reading and summaries and so forth and so forth. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and then we can help each other. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so, oh my goodness. Eh, I'm just trying to, there we go. Okay, so in today's
Right.
speaking test, I want you to please translate the Korean into English for me. Please, will you do that?
All right. I'm bored.
Okay, very good.
Mhm. I'm worried.
Yes,
I'm busy.
yes,
I'm confused.
yes.
I'm frustrated.
Very good. That was perfect. See, that wasn't so hard. Okay, now I'm just going to switch to our reading book quickly. Please give me a moment.
Yes. Take your time.
Thank you. Okay, there we go. Can you see the screen?
Not yet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now I can see the screen.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so as you can see in today's unit, we are going to talk about the journey of mobile phones. Okay,
All right.
I'm guessing you obviously have a mobile phone.
Yes, of course. I have my own mobile phone.
And do you spend a lot of time on your phone?
Yes, I spend a lot of time looking at my phone to check out the messages.
Okay. So would you say you spend most of your time on your phone for work or for personal life?
Normally I spend most of the time on my phone for work.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay, let's begin with the reading, okay? So
Mhm.
firstly, would you please just read chapter 1 for me? Just go through chapter 1 and just read it for me, please.
All right. Let me read it right.
Yes, please.
The mobile phone's history began many years ago. In the beginning, phones were large and heavy, with only a few people able to use them. The first mobile phone came from a man named Martin Cooper in the 1970s. He was a part of a company named Motorola. This first phone was really big compared to today's phone, and it could only be used to make calls. As the years passed, the mobile phones started to get smaller and more individuals began using them. They transformed into devices not just for calling. Phones started to have features like sending text messages and playing basic games.
Very good. Okay, so as we can see in this chapter, they say that the first phones used to be very big and heavy and not necessarily easy to work with. Do you
Mhm.
think you would have been able to work with such a phone? or do you prefer the phone you have now?
I really prefer to use my phone right now.
Okay, but if you were to have such a heavy and big phone, do you think you would still be able to use it?
No, of course not. It's very difficult to carry the phone with me every single day. Oh, it's almost terrible.
It is, it is. It's, even when it's so tiny, it's so difficult to carry around.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
Okay, now I do have a question for you. We see in this day and age that a lot of like children from a young age walk around with fancy phones and iPhones and smartphones. What do you think about that? Do you think that it's a good thing that they have phones at such a young age, or do you think they're still too young for it?
It depends on the people, but for me, as my own opinion, I think it's too much for them. So because
Yeah,
the features of the phone is very, very great. I mean, really great, yeah, to use, which means they can easy access to the many materials for their ages. So they're too young to they use all those features and all those the information. I mean, inappropriate information from their website. So the
definitely.
phone is kind of just a little laptop. So which means they can use them for a various purpose, right? So I think it is not appropriate for the kids to use for their ages.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. At what age do you think it would be appropriate for them to start using a cell phone like we do in our daily lives?
Um, I think the appropriate age for the using phone is after I mean the graduation from the elementary school. So which means 14 years old.
Yes, okay, that's correct. Yes, I agree with you there.
Mhm.
Okay, now again, we are going to do a summary of this chapter. So, just to refresh our memories and to make sure you can summarize it, I'm going to ask you to just go through chapter one more time. But this time, remember what you're reading. Focus
Mhm.
on what you're reading, and then afterwards, we can do the summary, okay?
Right. Um, the mobile phones, the history began many years ago. In the beginning, the phones were large and heavy, with only a few people able to use them. The first mobile phone came from a man named Martin Cooper in the 1970s. He was a part of the company named Motorola. This first phone was really big compared to today's phones, and it could only be used to make calls. As the years passed, the mobile phones started to get smaller and more individuals began using them, and they transform into devices, not just for calling. The phones started to have just like sending text messages and playing basic games.
Very good, very good. Okay, now let's go through the summary. Um, let's choose blue as today's highlight color. Okay, so again, please guide me through the paragraph and tell me which points are the most important for you to be able to make a entire summary out of it.
All right. This chapter is talking about the basic features for the original phone in the past. So yeah, especially yeah, the large and heavy, right? The phones were the large and heavy,
Yes,
and also the only few people able to use them, which means there are no people use the phone that much compared to
yes,
compared to nowadays. And next one is yeah, uh it is also talk about the creator of the first phone, mobile phone. So yeah, the Martin Cooper, yeah,
yes,
came from Martin Cooper, and yeah, he also the part of the company named Motorola. Okay, this is a very interesting. Motorola is the biggest company. And okay, then next one. Oh, okay. The features, basic features is just to make calls. So used to make calls.
Okay, so features like sending text messages and playing basic games. Okay, so if we take a look at what I just highlighted, do you think only those words would be enough to make a summary, or do you think we would have to kind of make our own sentences out of the words we get from the paragraph to make a summary?
Yeah, we can make sentences. We can make replace the sentences with these words.
Okay, so can you please rephrase the things I have highlighted and then try and make a summary for me?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, the chapter 1 is talking about the history of the mobile phones. That at first the first mobile phone was so heavy, it's too heavy for the people to use. And so it came from the creator, the Martin Cooper, who was a part of the Motorola company. And the first prototype of the mobile phone has only the basic features. The first one is just making calls. And then through the trials and errors, it developed into the many features like text messages and playing basic games.
Okay, that was very, very good, but it was a bit long. If we had to write down what you said, it would have been the same length as the paragraph. So do you think that would still count as a summary, or do you think that would just be another paragraph? Okay, so let's go through it. You did very well. We just need to shorten it a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So for example, we can say chapter 1, the evolution of mobile phones. In the beginning, phones were large and heavy, so a few people were able to use them. A man named Martin Cooper created them. And then we can say he was a part of a company named Motorola, and the first phones in history started to have features like sending text messages and playing basic games. Okay, so can you please do it for me one more time, but try and make it a smaller paragraph to make sense.
All right, I got it. Okay, the first phones were large and heavy with with a few users to use. The first mobile phone was created by Martin Cooper from the company named Motorola. The features of the phone was only to make calls, but developed to texting messages and playing basic games.
Perfect. That was perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue to chapter number 2. Okay, so again, please just read chapter 2, but just skim through it. Just read it quickly so that you can know what you're reading.
Okay, just read it, with my voice.
Just read it. Just read it for me.
All right. In the 2000s, mobile phones underwent a significant transformation. They turned into smaller, yet more powerful devices. Companies began producing phones with screens that could display pictures and videos. This period also witnessed the emergence of smartphones. Smartphones are like tiny computers we can carry with us wherever we go. These phones let us do various tasks, such as surfing the web and capturing photos and utilizing different apps for numerous purposes. At present, nearly everyone owns a mobile phone. They have turned into a necessary device for communication and enjoyment. Individuals use them to connect with friends and family, to do work, to learn, and to relax. The mobile phone has genuinely reshaped our lives in numerous ways.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's talk a bit about the chapter number 2. Would you say that if you, okay, do you have one phone for your work life and your personal life? Or do you have two phones? One for work, one for personal?
I have the one phone, for yeah, both of them.
Okay. Do you think it
Yeah.
would be better to have two phones, or do you think it's perfect to have one one phone for both activities?
For me, I don't care about the division of the private life and the work. So I think I prefer using one phone for multiple purposes. So yeah, especially there are some, the teachers here to use the respective phone, for different purposes, for private life, for work, because they don't want to be monitored and they don't want to be watched by the parents of students. So yeah, that's why they use two different phones. But for me, I prefer using just one phone.
Okay, okay. And you mentioned that you use your cell phone a lot, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you think you would be able to live if you never had a cell phone?
Oh, okay. It's almost impossible to do without phone. Okay, because of my life is perfectly suited for the life with phones.
Yes.
So yeah, there are so many tasks that I have to deal with a day with my phone. So without phone, I cannot imagine what would happen.
Okay. And if the world never had any cell phones, so it wasn't only you, but nobody had cell phones. How would you live then? How do you think you would be able to work and do things then?
In order to go through the trials without phone, then I think I have to find the alternative for the mobile phone. So maybe I think I will um, find some domesticated bird, yeah, to carry the ladders. Yeah, as our ancestors did in the history. So I think I will have several birds, for multiple tasks, and I'm gonna just feeding them.
Okay, that's genius. I like that answer a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now let's do a summary of the chapter again. Once again, just like the previous chapter, um, please go through the chapter and read the most important points for me. Then I will highlight them and then we can make a summary out of that, okay?
Okay. Okay, just talking about what happened to the mobile phones in 2007, 2000s, right? So
Yes.
it underwent significant transformation, right? And it is describing what transformations happen below. So yeah, it turned into smaller, right? Smaller and powerful devices.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, producing phones with screens could display pictures and videos. It is also a very big transformation.
Okay.
And also, yeah, we need the emergence of smartphone.
Okay.
Yeah, the smartphone do various tasks such as the surfing device. Okay, do various tasks.
Yes.
Okay, and present time, everyone owns mobile phones. Yeah, nearly everyone owns a mobile phone. It's also pretty big changes.
Yes.
The best for communication, enjoyment. Yeah, use them to connect with friends and family, to work and to relax. Mobile phones generally reshaped. Okay, the last one, genuinely reshaped our lives in numerous ways.
Okay, there we go. Okay, as you can see, this paragraph, do you think it has more important points than the previous one? We could say that there are more things that are important to know, right? So
Yeah.
in this case, when you make a summary, it obviously depends on what you are summarizing. If you're summarizing a paragraph that's not really talking about the most important points, the summary is going to be smaller. But if you're talking about a chapter like this one, where it's still a short paragraph, but there are more important points, it means the summary is going to be a bit larger. So in this case, because there are more important points, the summary is going to be larger. So now I want you to please make a summary for me that's going to be able to get everything from this chapter into a few sentences, okay?
Yeah, you want me to make a summary, right?
Yes, a summary with all the most important points that makes a difference in the paragraph.
All right. Okay, let me do it. In the 2000s, mobile phones experienced the big transformation, which is about getting smaller and more powerful. The mobile phone, the newly the mobile phones in 2000s started to produce the phones the with it started to showing the pictures and videos through screens, and with the emergence of the smartphones, we could do various tasks. So nearly everyone owns their own mobile phone nowadays, and it had genuinely changed our lives in a numerous way.
Okay, very good. That was perfect. Very, very, very good. Okay, so we still have a few minutes left. So let's go to the discussion questions quickly. And
Right.
so just read through the discussion questions and choose one. You can choose any one you want, and then we can have a quick discussion about it, and then the class could be over.
Okay, let's move on to our question to number 2.
Number 2, according to chapter 2 and 4, how many mobile phones made it simpler for people to keep in touch and improved their lives? So we haven't read chapter 4 yet because the time is a bit tight. So let's just use it according to chapter 2. So according to chapter 2, how have mobile phones made it simpler for people to keep in touch and improved their lives?
Okay, in the past, it's really difficult for us to keep in touch with people in distant places, right? In the past, I remember that in order to meet someone, especially the people in the past, they needed to exchange the letters first, and they have to make a promise, and they needed to be present in a promised places. So which is really difficult for them to make it on time, and this is really difficult for them, to keep a promise. So, but nowadays, we are getting more flexible with this time and the places for promises because we have mobile phones. So through mobile phones, we can easily keep in touch with the people we want to share, we want to talk with, and even there's something happening, unexpected things to happen, we can easily let them know about it. So we can update them, we can change the time, to another date. So this is really good, and even also the people can communicate with each other, even the other countries. So likewise, what we do here in the Zoom meeting, so I can communicate with the foreign teachers without any problems. So with just a simple clicks on the screen, I can meet the various people in various cultures. So I think this is the perfectly the good experience for us with the help of mobile phones.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I agree with your statement. I don't think we would be able to live without our mobile phones these days.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Our class is over. Everything was perfect. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for teaching.
It's a pleasure. I'll see you again next time, okay?
All right. Have a good day, teacher.
You
Bye bye.
too. Bye.